A messy home after living with a narcissist is not proof that you're lazy or disgusting. It is a sign that your brain has been in survival mode under constant pressure, gaslighting, and criticism. When your nervous system is busy scanning for danger 24/7, it simply has no resources left for folding clothes and polishing countertops. When you hear for months or years things like, "You can't do anything right," "You're too stupid to handle this," "No one needs you except me," your inner structure starts to collapse. Your own opinion about yourself gets replaced by their voice. Cleaning the house stops feeling like, "I want my space to be nice," and starts feeling like an exam where you're guaranteed to fail no matter what you do. Every attempt to tidy up is tied to the memory of being mocked, corrected, or attacked. After long-term emotional abuse, your nervous system works like an alarm that never turns off. You constantly check their mood, tone, footsteps, and you replay conversations in your head, trying to predict the next attack. In this state, the brain has one main task. Notice the threat first. All energy goes into monitoring, holding yourself together, and managing anxiety. Against this background, just clean the kitchen can genuinely feel like climbing a mountain, not because you are incapable, but because your system is overloaded with the job of surviving. When a narcissist controls your time, money, social circle, and even how you look, the home can become the last place where you still feel some tiny sense of control. Sometimes the mess becomes a silent protest. If I control nothing else in my life, at least here nobody tells me exactly how it must look. The cruelest part is not the chaos itself, but the shame glued to it. Thoughts like, "Normal people don't live like this." "What kind of mother am I in this mess?" "Why can't I just pull myself together, spin in your head, and eat any motivation that appears?" That shame makes you hide, stop inviting people over, and slowly cuts you off from support. There is often a phase of paralysis where nothing in the house gets done at all, not because you do not care, but because your body is in an emergency state. Getting out of bed is already an effort. Making something simple to eat and taking a shower can be the maximum you can manage. Your body is rationing energy only for basic survival. Sorting wardrobes or deep cleaning floors is simply not included in that emergency budget. For this acute phase of recovery, this is a normal, although very painful reaction. Later, emotional swings may appear. On some days, you suddenly have a wave of energy and try to clean the entire home in one go until you are exhausted. On other days, you crash, see that half the work is undone, and fall into despair and self-blame. This is also part of the healing process. Your psyche is trying to jump from minus to plus too quickly, while your resources are still unstable. In these crashes, it is very easy to think, maybe it was easier with them, at least it was more predictable, although you know logically that it was destroying you. To change this inner script, it is important to move from, "My messy home means I am a failure," to, "This mess is a symptom of what was done to me." You're not lazy. You are a traumatized person with a nervous system that has been running on emergency mode for a long time. This is not an excuse. It is a more accurate description of reality. When you stop reading the mess as evidence that you are worthless, every plate and every pile becomes just a task, not a verdict. Starting from nothing means using very small, realistic steps. The goal is not a magazine-perfect apartment. The goal is a space that feels a little less hostile and a little more yours than yesterday. One plate washed today is already a step. Clearing one small surface tomorrow is another step. Folding one stack of clothes the next day is also movement. You can create one small island of order, a bedside table, a piece of your desk, a chair without clothes on it. As a visible anchor, that order is possible for me, just very difficult right now. It also helps to turn some actions into gentle rituals done for yourself, not to satisfy an inner critic. Making your bed can be done because it is nicer to lie down in a tidier place, not because you must. Washing dishes with music or a favorite podcast can add a bit of ease, so the action is not linked only to tension and self-hatred. A simple inner filter can help. If the voice in your head says, "You have to, you should, what's wrong with you?" that is the echo of the abuser. If it sounds more like, "I am doing this because I want to care for myself," that is your own voice slowly returning. Sometimes outside support is necessary. Asking a friend or relative to help you clear one corner, or talking with a therapist specifically about the shame around your home can be a huge relief. From the inside, your situation often looks like a sealed bubble where everything is too much. From the outside, someone can help you see that what is happening in your house is not proof that you're broken, but a logical consequence of what you had to survive. A messy home in this context is not a character flaw. It is the visible trace of chronic stress, fear, and destroyed self-worth. Inner chaos always comes first. Outer chaos follows it. As the nervous system slowly calms and you rebuild internal structure, tidying up stops being torture and turns into an ordinary part of life, like brushing your teeth or washing your hair. One wash spoon, one cleared corner, one day when you did not insult yourself for the mess. This is already movement. Over time, you may look back at this phase and think, was it really that hard? But that will be from a very different place, with a very different version of you.